Hello, welcome internet. I'm gonna see if I can make a video without being interrupted. I'm not gonna talk about anything personal because that's what this video is all about. A lot of the time I make these videos to vent, as kind of like as if it was a diary or a journal, and it really helps. It helps me to vent. It helps me to at times learn from things that maybe I did wrong or choices that I did that were not correct. And then at times it also helps me realize, people that actually really care about you, or people that just pretend to, or whatever. And one of the problems I've been having lately is that some individuals, or whatever you want, I'm not gonna say anything in particular, so it could be individuals, whatever you want to perceive it. I've gotten upset with stuff that I've said, and I understand that. And the reason why is because the truth hurts, okay? So with that being said, I can understand how people get hurt, but that's not my fault. If anything, in my opinion, those people should take a look at themselves, try to understand why it hurts, whatever it is that I might have said, and try to learn from that, maybe so that whatever situation occurred that caused that to begin with doesn't happen again, or maybe they could even learn something themselves. But no, that's not the case. Another thing I wanted to address was false allegations against me, and it's just gotten completely obscene. Like, for instance, the other day I was falsely accused of something, and it was just outrageous. The person that was accusing me, I even told them straight up to their face, I'm like, that's not true. That's not true at all. And, I explained it to them. I said, look, that there's no way that was true. There was like 100 people that witnessed it. And finally, at the end, the person conceded. I don't know. They conceded because they knew I was right. They eventually said, oh, well, I didn't really see the whole thing, so maybe you're right. Yeah, I am right. Because what you were saying was not true at all. They were saying something that I did which was not true at all. Okay? And that's dangerous because, when enough people talk and enough people say things, there's going to be some people that might actually take it as a truth. And what that's going to do is that's going to make my name, my person, it's libel. That's what it is. It's libel. But unfortunately, because this is the internet and everything is fake, like I say, you can take everything with a grain of salt. But right now, I'm speaking from the heart. I just seriously have had 2 conversations with family members regarding about things that, have been bothering me because of things that have been said by a person or people which are just incorrect, okay? And to top it all off, these people, it's one thing this month is summer here in the United States. So people go on holiday, some people do, which was actually a good opportunity because during that holiday, I got to spend time with someone that I usually don't spend a lot of time with alone. and I learned something during that time, I actually learned how that person lies. And I'll give you an example, because this is not going to give away any information, except for maybe if one day you meet this person, you might see this pattern evolve, and then you might know who it is. But I'm not giving away any information because I don't want any Karens coming after me. I'm sure there's going to be somebody leaving a comment, or a person, because a lot of times it seems like it's just one person. Which, stop complaining about things that I said, and instead focus on yourself. Don't worry about what somebody else is saying. Look at me. I'm a human being. I'm gonna be dead, and I could be dead by the end of today. So what's the point of getting so upset about something that I said? I'm merely human. All right? If I don't die today, I'm gonna die eventually. So everything that I said will be forgotten in history. Now, the things that you do, they're gonna define you as an individual, and they're gonna probably, if politicians talk about legacy, usually as parents or just as people who are single, their legacy is usually the love that they not provide, but the love that they channel in this earth. And the reason why I say it like that is because love is God. So you cannot love without God in your life, okay? If you're an atheist out there, I'm sorry for offending you, whatever. But love is God, all right? So what I learned during the holiday was this individual will say something, all right? It could be true, it could be a lie. But eventually, as they keep retelling it, and if you listen, which is very important, like I always tell my daughter, the first duty of love is to listen. And I also tell her that in the mornings too, every single morning before we go to school. 3 things to do in class. So if any new parents out there, maybe you think this is a good thing to adopt. 3 things to make today the best day in class. 1, listen. Listen to the teacher when she's teaching class. Listen to your classmates when they ask questions, because sometimes they might have the same questions as you. Just listen in general. Listen to other people, whether it be the choices that they make, and listen to the consequences that they have to suffer. That might make you a wiser person. That way you can learn from other people's mistakes. So listen. Number 2, ask questions. Don't be shy to ask questions. The only dumb question that exists is a question that was never asked, okay? I don't care what anybody says. Some people are like, oh, that's a dumb question. No, it's not. It's not a dumb question, okay? The only dumb question is the question that was never asked. And number 3, be kind. Be kind to everybody. Every single person you meet, to your teachers, and this and that. And one time I quizzed her. I said, honey, what's one example of being kind to other people? And it was kind of a trick question, because the answer was to listen. Because listening to somebody is an act of kindness. And she said a couple things, and I told her, no, the answer I'm looking for is actually one of the 3 things you have to do while you're in class. And then she got it right. Okay? So, like, going back to what I was saying, this person will say something, whether it be true or whether it be not. Usually it's not true, because, like, this is what happens next. They'll retell the incident or whatever it is that happened, but details will change. So in other words, the original story, which contained so-and-so facts, with time, it starts changing. And it goes from this and it goes from that. So that's how I learned that this particular individual is lying, because their story is not, it doesn't stay consistent. Every single time that they retell it, usually something changes about it. And that was the red flag that I learned during this holiday. So I cannot say that this holiday was a complete a complete waste of time. I learned something very important. But I also learned, another thing that I learned that was important was that be careful for people who try to get you on the libel, because it can be dangerous. That's why people have actually taken other people to court for it, because it can damage somebody's reputation. Now, I'm no angel. I've done plenty of wrong things, okay? But thank goodness, I've never murdered anyone, because once you murder somebody, there's no way of saying you're sorry. But of all the things that I've done, most of the times I kept track, because that way I could, either repay that person or make things right again. And I've confessed pretty much to just about everything. There might be one or two more things, but the point is, I'm trying to work on myself. This helps me, but unfortunately is no longer going to be able to be an outlet unless I put the videos on just private, which I guess I could do, or I put it on Patreon where nobody's going to see it, because nobody's going to pay for the trouble that I'm going to go through. I would probably charge minimum $50, because what you don't understand is, when I speak and I talk about, persons or things that are bothering me, usually it's persons, those people come at me with a vengeance. They're upset, okay? Which again, like I said, stop focusing your energy on me. All I am is a mere human. My time on this earth is very limited. Time is the most precious resource there is. Why waste it on someone who all they do is have a measly iPhone 13 mini, which they know how to work the camera, do little edits, and make these little videos, which they can then post on this website for other people to see. Why waste your time and energy on that? Like I said, time is the most valuable resource. Instead, focus on something more positive. Think about one thing that you can do today, or if not, when you go to bed at night, think about one thing you can do tomorrow to make things better, instead of just berating on me and making me feel like I'm the worst person or the worst human being in the world. Makes no sense. IMO. Makes no sense. Alright, well, with that being said, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. And may peace and love be with all of you. Ciao.